I wanted to rock and roll, baby.
Okay, so I had plans to become a journalist, and I also was considering aid work as well. And I very clearly stated to anyone who listened that I was never going to become a teacher. And somewhere along the way, I lost my marbles.
I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do when I was in 12, but I've always loved music, and so I wanted to become a music teacher.
When I was your age, I wanted to be a rock star, and I think I've done pretty well.
You know, I didn't know what I wanted to do until the last day of my HSC. Then I decided to be a teacher.
I wanted to be the best person I could possibly be. Oh, and a lawyer. Not a teacher.
I wanted to be an international travel consultant, so I did go and study that and get my certificates and all of that, but then later changed a little bit to doing event management.
Climbing up trees?
I wanted to become an accountant. I know it's so exciting, and you're thinking, wow, if someone else can become an accountant, so can I. But yeah, I wanted to become an accountant, and guess what I did? I became an accountant.
What are you now?
What am I now?
When I was your age, I wanted to have fun, not listen to anybody, and go to the Olympics.
I wanted to do lots of different things when I was your age. I think the main thing I wanted to do was to work overseas in foreign embassies, in foreign affairs and trade. Having done a whole range of things leading to that point, I decided that really wasn't a career that I wanted. I wanted to work with people, and so ended up here, working with you guys.
Oh, I did not want to be a teacher. I was going to be a business and finance, so I became a stockbroker. And that was just not me at all. I wasn't greedy enough, wasn't motivated by money. So, no.
When I was your age, I wanted to do teaching. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to travel, and I hope I get to do more of that.
I think they're all likely to succeed. I'm sorry, but I think they are, all in different ways. They're all very talented and lovely people.
I think as a group, I think you'll all succeed. I think as long as you're happy doing what you want to do, then that will be your success.
Wow, that's a little bit of a hard one. No, I think that you're all going to do quite well.
Again, it's quite a challenging question. I suspect many of you will make fantastic employees one day, and we'll have some fantastic careers. I think Macca's drive-through these days does have a lot to offer. Those of you who don't end up in prison, I suspect will have fantastic careers right there.
All of it?
Most likely to succeed, Jesse. Succeed at what? I don't know.
Well, I want to play it straight actually. I think everyone, in various areas are going to succeed. They're just a really talented bunch of kids that have got really strong values and a love of the net. I think they're going to go really well in every different sphere of their influence.
You're all going to succeed at something. I just hope you don't succeed at going to jail. I think there are a few people that are really set on some paths. I can think of Alicia, who's already succeeding and her creative endeavours and has succeeded. I think Katrina as well has such a fantastic mind. I hope people like Nick continue to persevere, and I can see him succeeding as well.
Okay, if I don't say Riley, he may hunt me down and kill me. So, Riley Starray, you are my favourite student.
Whose favouritism? All of them. I love all my year 20s. I have got to make special mention though of two students who have stood out in the bunch. Den Davis for his attempts to confuse me, and Miss Gemma Painter for consistently knocking over my coffee. will be a very different year having coffee that I can actually drink.
It has to be Gemma.
It's so hard to choose because I just didn't like any of them. And so to make a choice like that, I just find that really difficult.
I don't have favourites. I dislike everyone the same.
You're all my favourites. So, Gemma Painter, sorry. Gemma Painter and Georgia Maynard. And Marina Shinoda. And Alicia McDonald, yeah, definitely. And then all of you. And Emily Lagos, yes. Amy Evans, of course. Who else? Who? Steph. Olivia Braybeck, yes.
Alicia McDonald.
Boy, that one was easy.
Year 12 would have to be Mitchell Brown. Just joking, Mitchell.
My least favourite year 12. It's got to be Sam. All right, Sam. If Sam could learn how to use a piece of paper and a pencil, my goodness, his whole world fell apart. So, and he won't give up. Sam's my least favourite student.
Look, I think I've answered that. I think in many respects it really was a race to the bottom in that regard. And so, again, it's such a hard question to answer. And I think many of you have actually tied right down to that low point for me.
All of them. Mel, she's definitely going to be the captain of a boat in the Navy, going and helping asylum seekers.
I see him as a sports commentator, absolutely driving us nuts in our lounge rooms.
Jono, in 10 years, will be married with 5 kids, living in Quakersville, being a doctor.
Very musical, very talented. I told her Rich is famous, don't forget to come and see her.
With a loving wife, 12 children, one on each hip at least, and very successful.
In order to see Amy Evans, I think she would need to be standing on something.
10 years. I see Marina as being the canteen lady at a soccer game with her children. Just joking, Marina. I see you doing something amazing for your God.
Really great. Should just be an independent music artist, probably in a bar or a club somewhere, playing nonchalantly piano while she sings something beautiful and lyrical.
Most likely to become an English teacher, Mitchell Brown. No. Most likely to become an English teacher, Marina.
I don't know, is this like a curse put on someone? I hope my extension 2 girls love English and maybe they'll be English teachers, but maybe they'll be writers, or maybe they'll open a book cafe, even better.
Not dead babies.
Oh, look, I think many of the people in my history class could certainly achieve that. Many yards to go, a lot of distance to go before you guys get there. But I actually think many of you could, assuming the math career that some of you obviously have in mind doesn't pan out. I think history teaching could be for you.
Hayden Aaron with a little hat, busting a bit of a tune, playing his piano, serenading people.
My advice for Year 12 would be to never stop. Never believe that you can't anything. Your creator who made you didn't make you to give up. And so I just want you to live joyful lives, enjoy the blessings that you have and that we have, and go for it.
I think would be to seek wisdom rather than riches. And the other thing I'd like to quote Solomon from Ecclesiastes when he says to remember your Creator in the days of your youth.
I think the big one is to be yourselves. You know, it's so easy when you leave school to kind of look around yourself and try and do what everyone else is doing and keep up with them. But it's the quickest way to make yourself unhappy. So I think the big one is to be yourself.
I think have confidence in themselves and who they are, and trust that God loves them and has a great plan and future for them.
My advice for leaving students is to do something that you love, to consider God while you're thinking about what that is, and just look out for each other and for those people who are around you, and leave the world a better place than the way you got it. That's my advice to you.
Don't settle for second best. Always go follow your heart. Know that it's the right decision to make, but never, ever, ever settle.
Now, given the sheer amount of hard work that teachers have gone through to increase the size of your brains and to help you build that whole range of very exciting neural connections which allow for fantastic learning, please don't do anything that will damage that before your HSC exams. Continue to work hard, continue to study, and continue to work very, very hard as you guys head towards your HSC exams. Then you can allow your brains to shrink and fizzle and do whatever they need to do.
My advice for you is to find out what your purpose on earth is. We've all got a purpose, and my hope and dream for you is that you fulfill everything that God has called you to do. Go out and be amazing teachers, leaders, maybe be the Prime Minister of Australia, corporate people, whatever your heart desires, ministers. Just give all you can and do it unto God. Be a blessing for Him.
First, Year 12s, read my lips. I like you to make use of the time given to you by God to prepare yourself for your HSC examinations. But this is something I really want to share with you. I want you to make your future a masterpiece by painting your life today with many colors of commitment, to do the right thing, and to have the fortitude to make great decisions. I'd like you to come back telling me your stories where you are the main characters, telling how you have overcome failures and that you have used your successes into blessing other people. Please come back with all those magnificent stories. And I want to let you know that you are not alone in this journey. God bless you until we meet again.
Probably my favourite moment though was the time we wrote the worst essay ever, and we got to perform it in front of some other drama students. That was an absolute ball. I really enjoyed that time.
The funniest moment was probably on Year 12 camp where the teachers were told they're making too much noise in class.
That would have to be in legal studies, where a particular favourite student happened to mention something about, is there a P in Parliament?
Funniest Year 12 moment, there were a few, but one of them was when Mitchell pranked me, and so Mitchell pranked me as if he had been slashed on his face, and he had this fake makeup with blood and everything, and I just about died. And there was another time where he pretended that he was sitting very quietly at his desk when we had a study time. He was pretending that he was injecting himself, and I absolutely freaked out. I didn't know what was going on, and he thought that was absolutely hilarious. But we've had some great funny moments in our mentor group and also in study periods, so I'll definitely miss you guys. You're a good fun bunch.
One day I came in to use my wireless mouse and get class started, and it was my mouse from work, would it? And so, stupid mouse, the battery must be flat or something like that. Everyone was sort of looking at themselves, and anyway, the little darling children had taken the battery out of my USB and wireless mouse and stuff, completely. I thought that was quite funny actually, I laughed later. Yoda.
Funniest year 12 moment. I probably don't have a funniest, as lots of moments that have been funny. But one from last week. We're standing in the library and I said something to Mitchell about going to the D block, or you couldn't go outside of D block. And Mitchell goes, D block? Where's D block? We don't have a D block. And he was standing in the library, which of course is D block.
I remember that there was a period of time when my year 12s thought it was funny to hide if ever I left the classroom. There was a time where Richie thought it might be amusing to go into the front cupboard and hide there, and I think it was probably the time when I had the most attention from year 12 for the whole 2 years, but everyone was sitting there with this sort of disconcerting smile on their face. It's pretty funny.
I think my funniest year 12 moment in class, we play a lot of games, and I think that's actually really important. We play lots of games. Now, there was one particular table, one group in my year 12 class, or my senior class, who proved themselves over a long period of time simply incapable of winning at anything. And so this one poor table missed out on lollies throughout, the first 6 months of the course. Until one day when we'd played the game, and yet again this table of losers had failed to achieve anything in the game, had been smashed by those in the year 11 class, and the furniture got more scores than them, and they turned around and they produced their own lollies from their pockets because they knew that they just had no shot of winning this game, and so they bought their own lollies to award themselves prizes. And look, I think funniest year 12 moment, that for me is one of those funny, sad moments, that level of patheticness that, is just truly noteworthy. And I think that would have to be the moment.
The first Duke of Edinburgh hike, arriving at the campsite, and I discovered that Mitchell Brown and Aaron Majum have brought a tomahawk and a machete to the camp and are running around like Bear Grylls.
My funniest moments would be not one time, but the times this year going on the basketball court with young Dean and his interesting style of shoving sandwiches down his throat and trying to shoot three-pointers. And I think if he keeps that up over the rest of the year, he might get the one-handed three pretty locked in.
Yeah, I reckon the funniest one would be when the year 12s, especially with Nick, would every time I would walk into the classroom, would be hiding around behind the door and then give me the biggest fright every single time without fail. I always get the fright.